Talkatoo Podcast.
English conversation made easy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talkatoo English Podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
And I'm Dilo. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're walking, cooking, traveling, or staring at your phone while pretending you're about to put it down.
That last group may feel especially connected to today's topic.
I already feel slightly attacked.
Gently attacked, I hope. Today we're talking about brain rot and why so many people feel as if they're losing control of their attention.
Brain rot sounds dramatic. It makes me imagine my brain sitting on a sofa, eating chips, and refusing to do anything useful.
Honestly, that image is not completely wrong.
Should I be worried?
Not yet. Brain rot is an informal phrase people use when too much low-quality or repetitive online content leaves them feeling mentally tired, distracted, or unable to focus.
So your brain is not actually rotting.
No, it's more like your attention feels worn out.
That makes sense. Sometimes I open my phone to check one message, and 20 minutes later, I'm watching a video about a dog choosing its favorite vegetable.
Was the vegetable important?
Emotionally, yes. Practically, no.
That is how endless content works. One video leads to another, and your brain keeps receiving something new every few seconds.
Which feels relaxing at first.
Exactly. But after a while, many people feel strangely restless instead of rested.
I've noticed that. You stop scrolling, but your mind still wants something else immediately.
A new sound, a new image, a new joke, or another little surprise.
Then, slower activities suddenly feel difficult.
Yes, reading 10 pages, listening to a long conversation, or even waiting in line can feel unusually boring.
Waiting in line used to mean looking around. Now, everyone looks down.
In many American and European cities, you can see that on buses, trains, and in cafes. Almost every quiet moment becomes screen time.
Even traffic lights have become tiny entertainment breaks.
And the problem is not that phones are evil. They're useful tools.
Mine helps me work, find directions, talk to friends, and avoid asking strangers where the train station is.
Very practical. The real question is whether you are choosing to use the phone or simply reacting every time it offers something new.
That difference is uncomfortable.
It is. Many apps are designed to keep us interested for as long as possible.
So when I say, just one more video, the app quietly says, excellent.
Exactly. And because the content is short, it never feels like a big decision.
1 minute becomes 10. 10 becomes 30. Then I suddenly know everything about a stranger's morning routine.
But perhaps you no longer remember why you opened the phone.
That happens more often than I'd like to admit.
Mental overload can feel like forgetfulness, impatience, low motivation, or difficulty staying with one task.
And sometimes guilt, because you know you wasted time.
Yes, although guilt usually doesn't help. Awareness is more useful.
So instead of saying, my brain is broken, we could ask, what has my attention been consuming all day?
That is a much kinder and more practical question.
Because maybe your brain is not out of control. Maybe it has simply become used to being entertained every second.
And anything learned through repetition can slowly be changed through repetition too.
Good. My brain can keep the sofa, but maybe we should take away the endless bag of digital chips.
That bag of digital chips is a useful image because quick entertainment works a little like snack food.
Easy to consume, hard to stop, and somehow you're still not satisfied afterward.
Exactly. Short videos, quick jokes, bright images, and constant updates give the brain a small reward again and again.
And because each reward is tiny, we keep looking for the next one.
Yes, the brain starts expecting something new every few seconds.
which explains why one normal video can suddenly feel too slow.
Or why someone skips a song after 15 seconds, even when they chose it themselves.
I've done that. I think, I love this song. And then my finger says, not enough excitement. Next.
Your finger has very high standards.
It has no patience at all.
That impatience is important. Quick entertainment trains us to expect immediate pleasure.
So when something takes effort, the brain complains?
Often, yes. Studying, reading, cooking, or practicing a skill may feel less attractive because the reward comes later.
Meanwhile, scrolling gives you something immediately, even if it's only a dancing cat.
And there is always another one waiting.
That endless supply changes the experience, doesn't it?
It does. In the past, entertainment usually had a natural ending. A television show finished. A newspaper had a final page. A cinema audience eventually went home.
Now, the feed never says, that's enough for today.
Right. There is no clear stopping point, so we have to create one ourselves.
Which is difficult when the next video might be funnier than the last one.
Or more shocking, more emotional, or more surprising.
I've noticed that people even scroll while watching television.
Yes, one screen is no longer stimulating enough for some people.
That sounds ridiculous when you say it aloud.
It does, but it has become common in many homes across the United States and Europe.
People watch a film, check messages, read comments, and somehow still ask, wait, who is that character?
Because their attention is divided into too many pieces.
So the problem is not only wasted time. We may also stop fully experiencing anything.
That's a powerful point. We are entertained constantly, but we may feel less deeply engaged.
It's like eating 10 small snacks and never sitting down for a real meal.
Exactly. The brain receives stimulation, but not always satisfaction.
Then boredom starts to feel unbearable.
Yes, even though boredom can be useful, it gives the mind space to think, imagine, and notice what it actually wants.
But the moment boredom appears, many of us reach for the phone.
Almost automatically.
So how do we know whether it's a habit or something stronger?
One sign is losing choice. You tell yourself you'll stop, but you continue. You feel tired, but you keep watching.
Or you open an app without even deciding to.
Exactly. The action happens before the thought.
That's slightly scary.
It can be, but noticing it is already progress.
Because once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it.
Even with something small, like waiting 10 seconds before opening an app.
10 seconds sounds easy.
It sounds easy. Your brain may disagree.
Fair point. But maybe those 10 seconds are where control begins, right before the next dancing cat takes over.
The dancing cat may be funny, but the bigger problem is what happens when our attention gets used to changing direction every few seconds.
Then one task starts feeling like a very long relationship.
Exactly. You sit down to read, work, or study, and after 2 minutes, your brain asks, "Is there anything more exciting?"
Mine usually asks that before I've even opened the document.
At least it's honest.
Not helpful, but honest.
When we switch between apps, messages, videos, and tasks all day, the brain becomes comfortable with interruption.
So even when nobody interrupts us, we interrupt ourselves.
That happens a lot. You remember a message, check the weather, search for one small thing, and suddenly you're reading comments under a video you never planned to watch.
Then you return to your work and have to remember what you were doing.
That return takes mental energy. People sometimes call it attention residue.
That sounds like something left on a plate.
In a way, it is. Part of your attention stays with the previous task, so you're not fully focused on the new one yet.
That explains why switching quickly doesn't always make us more productive.
Right. It can make us feel busy without helping us do anything deeply.
I think many people confuse movement with progress.
That's true. Answering 5 notifications feels active, but it may not move your important work forward.
And memory probably suffers too, doesn't it?
Yes, to remember something well, we usually need to pay attention to it first.
Which is difficult when half your mind is waiting for the next vibration.
Exactly. Even having a phone nearby can make concentration harder for some people because part of the brain is resisting the desire to check it.
So the phone can be silent and still somehow noisy.
That's a good way to put it.
I've noticed this in cafes and libraries. People sit down with a book, but every few minutes they touch their phone, like they're checking whether it's still alive.
Phones receive a lot of emotional support.
More than some houseplants.
Sadly, that may be true. But focus is not only important for work, it also affects enjoyment.
What do you mean?
Think about watching a film without checking anything, cooking while paying attention to the smells, or listening to a friend without planning your next reply.
Those experiences feel richer when we're fully there.
Yes, attention is one way we show that something matters.
That includes people, too.
Definitely. In many European cafes, sitting for a long conversation is still a normal social habit. But even there, phones can quietly pull people out of the moment.
Two friends are together, but mentally they're in 5 different places.
And afterward, they may wonder why the conversation felt unsatisfying.
So losing focus can make life feel thinner, not just less productive.
Exactly. We remember less, notice less, and connect less deeply.
That sounds serious, but I don't think the answer is throwing every phone into the sea.
Probably not. We still need them.
Good. I haven't memorized anyone's phone number since 2012.
The goal is not perfect concentration. It's rebuilding the ability to stay with one thing for a little longer.
Maybe 5 pages instead of 50.
Or 10 quiet minutes without switching tasks.
Small enough to feel possible, but long enough to remind the brain that not every moment needs a new screen.
And over time, patience can grow again.
Which is encouraging, because maybe our attention isn't gone, it's just waiting for us to train it to come back.
If attention can be trained to come back, then maybe the next question is how to make that easier in daily life.
Preferably without moving to a cabin in the forest and throwing my phone into a lake.
That sounds a little extreme.
Also, I'd probably need my phone to find the cabin.
Exactly. The goal isn't to remove technology completely. It's to create moments when technology is not making every decision for us.
So, where do we begin?
One useful step is adding a little distance. Keep your phone away from your desk, your bed, or the table during meals.
Basically, stop treating it like a tiny family member.
A very demanding family member.
One that interrupts constantly and never helps with the dishes.
Distance works because habits often begin with what we can see. If the phone is beside you, checking it feels almost automatic.
But if it's in another room, suddenly scrolling requires effort.
And even a small amount of effort gives your mind time to choose.
I've seen cafes in parts of Europe where friends place their phones in the middle of the table.
I've heard of that too. Sometimes the first person who touches their phone has to pay for the drinks.
That would definitely improve my concentration. Financial fear is very powerful.
Whatever works.
What about people who need their phones for work?
Then boundaries become more important than complete separation. For example, checking messages at specific times instead of every 2 minutes.
Like creating small office hours for your notifications.
Exactly. You decide when they get your attention.
I like that. It makes the relationship feel less one-sided.
Another helpful habit is removing unnecessary notifications.
Especially the ones saying, someone you barely know posted something.
Yes, not every update deserves immediate access to your mind.
That sentence should be printed on every phone box.
It should. We can also make slower activities easier to begin.
Such as?
Leaving a book on the sofa, keeping a notebook nearby, downloading a podcast before a walk, or placing a puzzle on the table.
So instead of only removing quick entertainment, we prepare better alternatives.
Exactly. Empty space is difficult to protect if there is nothing meaningful to fill it.
That reminds me of public parks in cities like Copenhagen or Amsterdam. People sit, cycle, read, or simply watch the world around them.
Those environments make slower attention feel normal.
Nobody looks strange for sitting quietly without a screen.
And we can create smaller versions of that at home.
Maybe 10 phone-free minutes with coffee in the morning.
Or one walk each day without checking anything.
I think people should start small, though. If someone scrolls for 4 hours a day, promising to stop completely tomorrow may not last.
I agree. A realistic change is usually more powerful than a dramatic promise.
Maybe reduce one habit first, like no phone during meals.
Then notice how it feels. Are you calmer, more present, slightly uncomfortable?
Probably all three.
Discomfort is normal. It means the brain is adjusting to less stimulation.
So boredom is not a sign that the plan is failing.
No, it may be the first sign that your attention is waking up again.
I like that. Reclaiming your mind might begin with something very ordinary, putting the phone down, staying with the silence, and discovering that your own thoughts are still there.
I think that silence you mentioned is where many people feel uncomfortable, Dilo.
Definitely. The moment nothing is happening, the hand starts moving toward the phone like it has its own plan.
Which shows how unfamiliar quiet has become.
We used to wait for buses, stand in elevators, or sit in cafes without needing constant entertainment.
Now even 30 seconds can feel like empty space that must be filled.
Usually with a video, we won't remember 5 minutes later.
That's why learning to slow down may begin with allowing a little boredom.
Boredom doesn't sound very exciting as a life goal.
No, but it can be useful. When the brain is not receiving constant input, it begins to wander, reflect, and create its own ideas.
So boredom is not always the enemy.
Not at all. Children often invent games because they have nothing planned. Adults can have new ideas for the same reason.
That explains why good thoughts sometimes appear in the shower.
Exactly. There are no notifications in there.
Not yet. Please don't give technology companies ideas.
Fair point. Slowing down also means choosing content more carefully.
Instead of letting an endless feed choose for us?
Yes, we can ask, do I actually enjoy this, or am I watching because it's there?
That question could save a lot of time.
It can also improve how we feel afterward. Some content leaves us informed, inspired, or relaxed. Other content leaves us restless and strangely tired.
So the important question is not only how much we consume, but what we consume.
Exactly. One thoughtful film, article, or podcast can be more satisfying than 100 random clips.
Like choosing a real meal instead of living on digital chips.
There's our callback.
I knew those chips would return.
Another simple practice is doing one thing at a time.
That sounds almost rebellious now.
Read without checking messages. Eat without watching a screen. Walk without listening to 3 things at once.
Or have a conversation without placing the phone beside your cup.
Yes. In some American schools and European communities, people have started creating phone-free classrooms, dinners, or social events.
I can understand why. At first, people may feel awkward, but then they usually start talking more.
And noticing more.
The room, the food, the other people, maybe even their own thoughts.
Rebuilding attention is really about returning to those simple experiences.
Not becoming perfect or deleting every app forever.
No, technology can still be useful and enjoyable. We just need to remember that our attention is valuable.
Because whatever receives our attention slowly shapes our days.
and our days shape our lives.
That became serious very quickly.
It did, but I think it's worth remembering. To everyone listening, thank you for spending this time with us today.
We hope this conversation helped you look at your habits with curiosity instead of guilt.
Start small. Put your phone away during one meal. Read for 10 minutes. Take a quiet walk. Or simply wait without reaching for a screen.
Your brain may complain at first.
Let it complain. It is learning a different rhythm.
Thanks for listening to Talkatoo English Podcast. Protect your attention, enjoy a little boredom, and remember, you control the screen. The screen does not have to control you. Bye, everyone.